Today we're going to be running the Impulse 32. This is my absolute most favorite boat to run. We're going to be running it on 6S and 8S today. It's got the 2100 kV long can Tenshock motor in it. Let's go ahead and open it up and I'll show you a little bit about it. So I know most of y'all aren't new to the channel, but what we have is this Tenshock motor here. It's a little cool from being in the house. Got a little condensation on it, but we're going to be trying something different. If you remember the last video, I had bought the 11,300 milliamp packs from SMC. The ones I really wanted were the 7600s. Well, guess what came in stock? The 7600s. We're going to be running a pair of 3S packs here. 6S. I've had this boat do 79 miles an hour with the 6500 SMC HP packs. Now these are the 7600s. This should give us a little bit more voltage on top end, slight bit more extended run time, but I'm looking for more voltage, more RPM. I want to crack that 80 mile an hour barrier, and I'm going to see if we can do it today. Now the prop that I did that with was this exact prop here. This is the OSE brass CNC H44, 44 millimeter by 1.6 pitch. I'm going to go ahead, we're going to put the GPS in it. We're going to see what we can achieve on 6S. I really want to break that 80 mile an hour barrier on 6S on this boat. I've never seen anybody hit 80 miles an hour on this boat on 6S. I just really want to see if I can make it happen. If not, I'm going to do something that goes against my gut. I've been waiting for these packs since October. These are the SRD 5300s, the 14.8 volts. These are 4S. So I've got two of these. Now, believe it or not, these batteries here and these batteries here are the exact same size. They're 4S in my hand, 3S in the boat. But overall, the 5300 4S and the 7600 3S are identical in size. So they shouldn't affect the boat too much. So I'm going to go ahead, get the boat all wrapped up. I'm going to check center of gravity. I'm going to set CG at 31.5% or thereabouts. Typically, I've got 30 here and I've got 33 here. I need to just go get my scale and I need to make sure that I've got a little more than 31 degrees CG, or 31% CG, excuse me. And if you're wondering, I know of a couple people, how do you check CG? Well, I built this piece of aluminum. I built some hooks on it. You basically measure the back of your boat, find the 30% mark it inside your hull, hang your boat on that, and you simply pick it up like this. See how it's nose heavy at 30%? Now let's go ahead, move it in between 30 and 33. So that would be right there at 31.5, and it's a little tail heavy, but you can't use that as a reference. Why? Because you need to make sure your battery connections are right where they were supposed to be, and you need to have your lid on your boat where, you know, roughly where it's supposed to go to where you can get true accurate weight distribution. So we're going to go back to the 30% mark, which is right there, 70-30. And look at that, boat perfect at 30%. I'm going to bump the batteries forward just a smidge, and that'll give me a little bit more nose weight, because when we go fast, this thing likes to lift. GPS is zeroed out. Go ahead, enter, record. Okay, I'm going to pop it in the hole there. Go ahead, put this on, and we're going to tape it up. All right, I'm going to be filming on a tripod today. That way I can be able to focus solely on driving. Solely on driving. Ooh, I landed it, but it came disconnected. Y'all didn't see that. It got wonky when I let off the throttle. All right, it actually did just fine, but the GPS came dislodged in here and I heard it rattling around. So I went ahead and brought it in. Let's see, 64 miles an hour is all we got out of that. Nothing crazy. I'm just gonna leave 64 on there. Everything else looks okay. Batteries. They kind of shuffled around a little bit and slid forward. I'm going to go ahead and slide them back. I think maybe my thought process a lot of the times is always the opposite of what reality is. So instead of putting more nose weight on it, since every time I've done that, it's always nose diving bit, I'm going to put it back to the 70-30, and I'm going to put my trim tabs back another mil down where they belong, and we're going to try it that way. Round 2. All right, let's give it a whirl and see what happens. I didn't get into it all the way. Well, guys, it's not good. Not good. We didn't even flip it, and we got water in the hull. So I need to open this thing up and see what happened. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. I got really lucky. Remember when I blew up the Tenshock motor and I said I didn't like how they just glued the nipples in? Well, that's what happened here. My cooling nipple came out and it filled the hole full of water. So crazy. 67 miles an hour with a hole full of water. I need to go ahead and let the GPS kind of air out in the sun. Luckily, it wasn't that bad. But just set it up here. Yep, they should have threaded those nipples in. I may do that. I may take this cooling jacket off and look at that. That one's doing it too. Holy crap, that one just wiggled itself out. Look at that. That's nuts, man. That's crazy. Like, I understand this one here, it was bent, you know, like so. This one is just chilling. It just fell off. Yep, not a good design. Not a good design. Should have threaded that. Alright, well, it is now the next day, and I've got the impulse inside. I want to kind of show you what I ended up having to do to fix it here. I ended up using like a hodgepodge of stuff that I had on hand. So I basically just took the clamp off of the Tenshock motor here, and I slid the cooling can off. Now this was a Y splitter. If we look here, this is like a TFL Y splitter for the cooling. This came off of the Cheetah Cat. Now I have a few different size cooling nipples, but because the original cooling nipples on this thing were so small, they were this thing here, they measured a little under 4 mil. Or I guess that's kind of what they were. But look, this is what I ended up doing. Pull that off. So I've got a threaded nipple on the can now, and it actually works great. So all I had to do was take my 4mm tap, take the cooling can off. I put the tap in my drill, held it there. I went in and out 3 or 4 times, cleaning it out. I don't have the chuck to hold it, so I just use my drill. I just do it super duper slow, do 3/4 of a revolution, then back it out, 3/4, back it out, 3/4, back it out, just back and forth. And I tapped it to where I could put the threaded nipple in there, to where now these things will not come off. They're on permanently, and we don't ever have to worry about water in the boat. Now, just to get an understanding of how much water was in the boat, the entire motor was covered in water. Only the top of the servo was showing. Both lipos were completely submerged, and my charger, or my GPS, completely under the water. This little back portion of the motor was the only thing that was above the water when I picked it up and brought it out. I mean, the boat probably weighed, no lie, like 18 pounds. I was lucky that it didn't sink. The only way I noticed it was that the spray wasn't coming off. And as soon as I saw it, I brought it right back to shore. And when I brought it to shore, since I was filming on a tripod, it sucked because, like, the one time drastic stuff happens, I wasn't filming, you know, attached to my remote. As soon as it got to shore, it was like under the water, and I'm like, oh my God, like, what is going on? I just knew I had knocked a hole in the bottom of the boat. I was just like, you know, that's just what my initial thought was. But Come to find out, it was just the cooling tube that popped off. But that's how we fixed it, so we're good to go. If anybody has the Tenshock motor and wants to do that, just get you some 4mm. I believe that's what they are. They're really small threads, or you can just buy the Y splitter, that little, you know, TFL Y splitter that I showed you. It's this little doodad here. You can just take the nipples out of it, and these are really, really small, but they fit. You just got to tap the things. Another thing, just to add some extension to the video, I got this in today, atomic cap pack. So these are going to be the ones that go on the Cheetah. So right now it's only got 440 microfarads. I believe I'm using that terminology correct. I know it is in the well industry. Don't know if the same thing applies for this, but these are 10,420, where the other ones are two 440s, I believe. So I'm only getting 800. So I'm going from 800 size capacitors to 10,000. So hopefully that helps each one of my Sea King 180s. These came from Atomic Cap Pack off of eBay. Also got me a new collet and extra collet for the rigger. Got me a bunch of prop spacers since I'm tired of using non-legitimate prop spacers. Got those. This was always my favorite prop, 17, 15, 38 bar. Finally, Offshore Electric got some props in stock, and I got me this high rake here. This is also a 38 bar. This is 16, 19. I need to spend some time tonight prepping this. And then I also got this big bad boy here, the 18, 17, 38 bar. So I've ran an 18, 16 on this boat, did 76. Tried running an 1817 with a 45 bar. It was a little too much amps for it, I believe. I believe it was too much amps for it. So hopefully the 1817 with a reduced blade area will do this boat some good. But a lot of work gonna go into prepping these little things. I want to show you something that I bought for prepping props, and it works really, really, really well. I bought this little thing. This little doodad right here from Harbor Freight. It's got a little buffing stone on this side. It's got a little grinding stone on this side. You can tell it grinded some aluminum on it. Probably shouldn't have done that. But it's got variable speed, so you can turn it on, and then you can speed it up or slow it down. And it comes with an extension here like a Dremel. So it's got 4 foot of line, and you have a small little Dremel. So just that's what I use. I really need something different, but I need me like a 400, 600, 800 grit sanding belt for my belt sander. I think that would really do me wonders. And then this little doodad here. This was 14 bucks at Harbor Freight. Small, tiny pin-sized Dremel. Works great for prepping props. Because it's not aggressive. You can hold it in your hand like a pencil. It just works great all the way around. But yeah, that's about it. Just gonna go ahead and end the video here. I know the video didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but I decided to change it up from the beginning of the video to now, show you what I got going on. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and shout out to Big B for giving me a nod on his channel. I love my rigger. It's fun. Thanks to Fred for sending me it. It's been a fun endeavor, and now all I'm doing is waiting for some batteries from SMC to where I can actually run that thing, because I swole up 1,300 my batteries. Probably double the size. It scared me. I threw it on the ground. I was so afraid it was going to catch on fire. It's the first time I've ever swollen up a battery, though. So if I was going to do it to one that's 2 years old and is small I never use. But thank y'all for watching. See y'all in the next one. Peace.